Hello and welcome to a Holly Talk. It's like a TED Talk, but without the fancy budget. My name is Holly and I'm the founder of SEP Foundations and Circus Strong CIC, both of which are social ventures, and Circus Strong is a not-for-profit. So today I want to talk to you about five of the best tips that I have picked up over writing lots of grant applications, because in the space of about 15-18 months I went from having never written a grant application to bringing in about £120,000 to fund Circus Strong. So I thought today I'd share with you some of their wisdom, and let's get into it. So my number one tip is do your research on the funder. Okay, now this is incredibly important because every funder has different objectives. They have different things that they're looking for, and they only fund. I'll learn to speak. You will usually find with a funder that they have a very narrow channel that they fund, and if your activity doesn't fall in that channel, no matter how good it is, they just won't fund it or even look at it. So do your research on the funder, understand what kind of things they fund, and then from there you're going to save yourself a lot of time, because these grant applications take time to write. So you don't want to be spending days writing something that's just not going to be a good fit for a funder and they're just going to reject. Okay, so that's my number one tip. My second tip is be very clear on what you're looking for funding for, and don't just be precise, be extra precise. And again, I will learn to talk. Be OCD about it. Because let's take a broad subject. Let's take mental health. Okay, so if I say to funder I'm doing a mental health project, that's great, but lots of places do mental health projects. What do you mean by mental health? Mental health covers a wide range of things: depression, anxiety, so many things. So you have to be able to sort of drill it down to, within a couple of words, a very, very, very precise area that you're focusing on, so that you then stand out, because there's a lot of competition, so you have to be able to stand out. And this is one really easy way to stand out, because then the funder's going to think, they know what they're talking about. They're really clear on what they're trying to achieve. I don't really have any questions left in my head. So yeah, be very, very precise and clear on what exactly you're trying to get funding for. That is just absolute golden. The hard thing is obviously doing that in a very short word count, which is challenging. So the third thing is have a clear budget. I do apologise, the hair is going in my mouth. Have a clear budget. So, there's two things about having a clear budget. One, it shows to the funders that you have looked at your costs and they have faith that you're going to be able to stick to that budget. And number two, it means that you're not going to run out of money halfway through the project. Okay? So, take the time to look at how much things cost. Don't just guess it, because these things can take time to progress, and if you don't get funded until 6 months later, costs might have gone up, or you can't then go back to a funder and say, I didn't cost it right, I need more money. It's not going to happen. So get those costs clear in your head to start with, and be very, very sort of clear on what each item costs. Have a look around. Now my fourth tip is by far the hardest one. Okay, you want to write a short story, not a novel. The funder is not interested in your life story, because they've got thousands of these applications to get through. So you need to be able to convey, years of work and your idea and your project in a couple of sentences. The word counts and the character counts are very, very tight. So you need to be able to package it all together so that the funder knows exactly what you're trying to do, who you are, in a very, very, very short word count, and that is a very hard skill. So yeah, keep it short and sweet while keeping the absolutely important stuff in. Okay, don't They don't care about your shoe size, they don't care about the colour of your hair. They just want to know what your project is, who it's going to help, how much money you're looking for. From there, they'll decide if they want any extra information as well, they'll always come back to you. So if they've got some questions, they'll come to you. So don't, be writing your novel, just keep it short, but still have all the pertinent information in there. So that's my fourth tip. So my final tip, number 5, is not a nice one, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, but it's reality. Be ready for lots of rejection. So the road to getting funding is long, tedious, and can be quite emotional at times. Now, usually the average win rate is about 20% for most organisations. Usually about 20% of what you put in, you will get funding for. So let's say you're writing 10 applications a week, maybe 2 of those will get funding, but unless you've got a team of people to do that, you're not going to be able to write that many applications, because it usually takes about 1 day at absolute like very, very, very minimal to weeks and months to prepare grant applications. So you have to accept that you're not going to win them all. I seem to have a better win rate, where I'm usually winning around 70-80%, but through research and speaking to organisations and charities, etc., 20% tends to be the average amount of wins that you'll get. So if you spent a week putting an application in, you'll sort of be lucky to get that, really. I'm not trying to put you off, I'm just trying to brace you with the reality. These applications aren't easy. They take a lot of time to write. It is a very, very, very competitive thing that you're doing, because lots of organisations are doing great things, but there's only so much money out there to give away. So it's a really sort of tough road, and it can be quite distressing at times. But honestly, if you keep going, you will get there. So those are kind of my 5 tips, really, of some of the things to just bear in mind and try and do when you're doing applications, etc. So I hope you found that useful. As always, if you've enjoyed it, please feel free to comment. Please share it with any work colleagues or professionals in the industry who you think might find it useful. And obviously, if you think that I could help you write grant applications, or you'd like to write grant applications to you, that's something we can discuss. Just head over to SCP Foundations. I am going to learn to speak. I will learn to speak at some point. So head over to SCP Foundations, where you'll find my email address and my contact number, and hopefully we'll work together at some point. But thank you for taking the time to listen to me.